Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, where we bring you the highly elevated sports talk to the highly elevated sports fan. I'm your host, JP,
Hey, yo.
and with me, as always, the 6'10 beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
How you feeling, K? Damn. Is it a sad day for a Miami Heat fan?
No,
Is that
anybody.
what?
Yeah, that was a couple days ago. Yeah. We sad we lost, but nobody gives a fuck about Denver, so that's a plus.
Apparently, right?
There ain't no parent about it. It's pretty fucking evident. They don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a flying fuck that they won. And I love it. Because if Miami would have pulled this shit out, do you not understand? The whole country would have went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But
No,
the fact that this big, nice Serbian motherfucker won, they don't give a fuck. The Bay has not said shit. I've heard a couple of my friends from San Jose like, yeah, Bay Area, we should be standing up. This is our first real champion, Aaron Gordon. Nobody gave a fuck. I was loving all of this shit. I've been sitting here loving all of it, dog.
That was like when you brought that up, I thought about it. I was like, to be honest, I was listening to all like sports talk radio, everything like that all this morning, and I was like, they didn't. If anything, fucking Keyshawn Johnson went on radio and everything today, calling uh calling Jokic a potato. It's an essential need to the diet, but it's bland. It's boring, he says.
I don't understand why they let Keyshawn Johnson talk about anything other than wide receiver or corner. That's the only thing I want to hear about from you. Like literally wide receiver and corner specifically. Anything else, I'm cool, buddy. You had very bad relationships with most of your quarterbacks. Most of your teammates didn't really want to play with you.
This is coming from a Bucks fan, people.
And
So,
to be honest with you, I credit my championship to everybody else but y'all. Like, but you, I mean. I credit the defense. I credit everybody but him. Him and Brad Johnson. I forget they both was on the team. I promise you. You hear me talk about Joe Jaravicious more than you hear me talk about Keyshawn Johnson. I did not like Keyshawn Johnson, bro, at all. I love Joe Jaravicious, though. Oh, my God, I love Joe. Can't stand that motherfucker, though. I promise you.
no, I hear some of his takes, and I'm just like, really, Keyshawn? That's what we're going with. That's what you're gonna. Okay, that's fine. And then when they call him out on it, that's not what I said. All right, Key. It's not what you said. All right, but I mean, this one, it was. I mean, it was sad in a way that it went down. I thought, or I was hoping for, you know, at least a game 6 or game 7, but didn't go that route. Gentlemen sweep Denver Nuggets over the Miami Heat 94-89. It was relatively close. Going up all the way to the end there. But Jokic, NBA champion, finals MVP, in which by the way, I just saw he lost the MVP trophy. He said he had put it in the equipment manager's room, and then when he came back, it was gone. He doesn't know where it's at.
He didn't lose it. They got cameras all over that motherfucker, so they know exactly where that trophy is. I'm not going for that. I'm not going. They got cameras all over the equipment manager's office. I'm not going for that shit.
But I mean, yeah, no, I do agree. It's just it's quiet. It's really quiet, and it's odd because it wasn't too long ago that they were just talking about, how Jokic is this and Jokic is one of the best big men of all time, generational talent. They're just making all these, statements about him. He wins an NBA championship, and because it's not the sexy pick that all the fucking talking dumbass heads on TV went with, fucking, oh, the Lakers would be the best ones to be in the championship. It should be the Lakers. It should be the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, no, like they just completely shafted the whole thing. I don't know why the Lakers were on anybody's radar to do anything in the playoffs other than the first round. It just no. There was no reason for anybody to be picking the Lakers other than the fact that their name is the fucking LA Lakers. That's it. That's the only reason why anybody picked this team to do anything in the fucking playoffs, especially going to the goddamn NBA finals. You kidding me? They barely squeaked into the playoffs. Kiss my ass with that shit. All right. So
And
they
Western Conference championship, by the way.
be whatever.
And they
The
LeBron.
road to get there was trash.
I mean, they beat the team that beat Joe.
Is that saying something really?
Yes. Yes, saying a lot, actually.
And then they got when they got to actually play a decent team in the Denver Nuggets, they got absolutely fucking mollywopped, swept.
That's shooting down on your own team, by the way. You're punching
Shooting down on the own team. Nobody lived up to the fucking Western
I'm talking
Conference
about
hype
you.
and
You're
everything.
shooting down
But
on
what
your
I'm trying to say is, like, everyone was big on Jokic, and then when the playoffs hit, all that talk went away. Because everybody wanted to see LeBron at his age make it to the fucking finals with the Lakers coming from the 6th seed. Like, that's the only thing anyone ever fucking talked about the entire time. While we were sitting here admiring what the Heat were doing with, being a playing team, the 8th seed, their road was the toughest route out of anybody throughout the playoffs, and they made it to the NBA finals. While we were talking about that, everyone was talking about LeBron making it to the finals with the number 6 seed Lakers team. And again, because it wasn't the pick that everybody wanted, nobody's talking about it.
Well, I mean, they got a little story on them too. If you really, you know what I mean, give them, you got to kind of give them a break a little bit on this one. Like, they were, what, 15th in the West? And then they end up flipping that shit to 6th. You got to give them a little break. Like, they did well, especially after the trade deadline. They did all of that shit in like 2 months, 2.5 months.
They did the necessities and everything that they had to get to that point. Like, yes.
I mean, they could have just not, they could have literally not made the playoffs. You see what I mean? Like, they moved up 9 spots to make the playoffs. Like, that's a lot. Like, they really could have just moved up 3 and just been at the crib the whole time. You know what I mean? They could have made that,
Well, I mean,
push at the end and just not made the playoffs. You know what I mean? But
we had talked about it, and we looked at the records and everything else like that. The top 5 teams in the East had way better records and stuff like that. If you were to put the Denver Nuggets with their record in the East, they would have been like what, number 3 or number 4? Seed, they wouldn't have been the number 1 seed. So if you go by record and everything else like that, the Western Conference this year during the playoffs was much weaker than the Eastern Conference was. But the Heat just
way more trades.
defied all expectations. Jimmy Butler is proving that he's Michael Jordan's illegitimate son. He needs a couple of pieces around him. They're talking about what you were talking about, or what we were talking about, with Dame coming over to Miami being a possibility. And they're talking about the next steps for Miami to be finals contenders again, because again, they're talking about the Heat, but there's something about it when they talk about the Heat that they don't like. Like, it puts a sour taste in their mouth for some reason, because they say, well, if you look on paper, no, they're not a great team. But then if you look at historically speaking, they're always making it. Well, then that should tell you something. Just because the players don't look on paper great to you doesn't mean that it doesn't mesh well and it doesn't work. The Heat proved that full-on team game, team basketball was how they got to the finals. And they were missing pieces going into that point. Did Tyler Hero get to I didn't
No, he didn't play.
He didn't actually play?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I saw the video of him warming up.
Nah, he ain't playing.
So yeah, they had players and stuff like that was out, but we had been talking about here. We didn't understand why Miami wasn't getting the praise that they actually deserve. And then people are actually downplaying the fact that, oh, we can't really give Jokic and the Nuggets a whole lot of credit for this championship because they played a Heat team, who was number 8, the number 8 seed. They seem to forget who they had to fucking beat to get there, as if that's not impressive.
No, they down. So the fact that we lost, you pretty much downgrade everything. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, game 7, Jason Tatum hurt his ankle, and Giannis got hurt game 2. So that kind of shifts the whole trajectory of their whole shit. Like that's kind of how people see it in their mind. Now, if we won, it would have been in spite of. Look at all the great things they did. Then they would have praised all of this stuff. That's just how it goes. That's the same thing. Like I don't know. It's just it's a lot of different shit. People, do their own thing. I mean, like I said, I feel like the media is just. I feel like they a part of that shit is like, I don't know. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Motherfuckers are getting they got their head stuck with their ass for the most part.
Most of it's just clickbait shit, right?
I mean, that's pretty much what the name of the game is nowadays. It's not necessarily clickbait. At this point, it's like that's the name of the game. So
Just saying something stupid just to say something stupid.
I mean, what's going to gravitate attention? Negativity. So that's morally what people do. You know what I mean? Or like something that's like loosely not true, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's you know what I mean? Like it's true, but it's ooh, you know what I mean? You got certain situations, a whole bunch of shit like that.
Yeah, I know. It's just it gets frustrating with watching the media and the talking heads of everybody, because it's just we sit there and we look at it and we're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Some of these arguments that are being made, it's just like, why is this even being talked about? Like, why is any of this even being talked about? It just, oh, it just frustrates the shit out of me. And then they take our shit, which pisses me off even more. That they take our stuff because they're not, any good at their fucking job. See, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, who would stop if Dame were to join the Heat? Like, yeah, we were talking about that. Now everybody else is, all of a sudden Dame going to the Heat is in everybody's mouth. It's like, bro, first of all, give us credit where credit is due. We're pretty good at this shit. We may not be universally known like everybody else, but hey, we're listening to over 13 countries. That's cool. I like that. At least, people in other countries and stuff listening to the All Pro JAFFOs. It ain't like we're fucking slouches at this. We know what we're fucking talking about. A lot of the shit that we do talk about comes to fruition. Everyone listens to K. Some people, including myself, some of his takes, you think about it and you go, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And then it happens. Well, I guess K did know what he was talking about. Same shit with me. Same shit with Mad Sticks. Same shit with Caleb, with Sunshine on F1. All the things that he's been predicting, like, we're pretty good at this shit, dude. Like, honestly, we're pretty fucking good at this analysis and everything. What we see is pretty much what everybody sees. It's just for some reason it's just not being talked about. And I don't get it. These are the points that everybody are talking about, and yet the talking heads want to move it into a different direction. They want a different narrative for this whole thing. It's not good enough for them. So it's annoying, is what I'll say. Super fucking annoying. But NBA season is now done. I believe the NBA draft is in a week or 2 weeks from now. And
Yep.
there's only one person that anybody is really being interested in at that point.
No, everybody already knows what Wemba's going. Is right now it's been a lot of different shit being talked about. So they've been talking about like different trade scenarios and shit like that. People trying to move up in the draft and things of that nature to try to capitalize on where they at and where they're trying to go. So, I mean, you got situations. I mean, the Hornets at the top again. So we'll see what they do. Because I personally, I think this might be Jordan last year as the owner. Because I think he might sell his portion. Because he was talking about that shit. Like
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
it got rumored that he wanted to sell his portion of the Hornets like a
I
year or
mean,
two ago. So if that
yeah.
rumor come out, you know what I mean? Like it
I
could
mean, think about it though.
be bad picks and they just,
Jordan has had this portion and owned this part of the team for how long? And
but
he,
that's why I said it could have been a rumor that somebody drawn up because they had made so many bad picks. Because they made this and that. Like, who's to say Jordan is, you know what I mean, on that? But he is a winner, and being this going at it this long, I don't think he'll just give up at this point. And then at that point, you'll be called a loser the entire time. So it's like you was a
it's
loser
like, yeah, you could ball, but you couldn't be an owner to save your.
on the side GM. Yeah, you was a terrible Jerry Jones, dude. Like that's pretty much what people will say. Like you were one of the great. Well, you was the great that people say the greatest. I personally don't believe that, but people say the greatest basketball player ever. And but I ain't seen him play like that. So I was a kid when he was, you know what I mean, on the back half of his career. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really a kid. So it wasn't like I wasn't cognitive, but I just, you know what I mean, I ain't have certain luxuries. You know what I mean?
No,
So but yeah, I just
it's probably a good thing for him to sell the team. Look for something else.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because he's made good picks. He's made some like when he stopped doing that North Carolina shit, he made good picks after that.
I mean, he got who? LaMelo and
I mean, a lot of different people that he picked, they end up leaving the team and end up being good. So you kind of got to look back into. I don't remember right now firsthand. I don't remember, but I just remember saying like, "Damn, Jordan did pick that motherfucker." Like, like y'all player, he fucking with y'all. Coming off the bench, he be getting fucking buckets. Malik Monk, he got drafted to the fucking Hornets. He was drafted to the Hornets. That's what I was saying. Like, it's a whole bunch of players that Jordan drafted that actually fucking became something. It's morally probably because of the coaching staff not developing players. And when they leave, they actually get developed by real coaches. Like,
yeah.
look at Malik Monk. He's actually he's still the same guy. He's just a smarter basketball player with Mike Brown. You see what I'm saying? So it's you able to play a little differently. You know what I mean? You got the right tutelage. So Jordan always picks pretty good talent. Like those guys are talented as far as basketball standpoint. Like they can run
He's good at picking players. He's not good at picking coaching staff or training staff.
because I don't think he outside of Phil, who do he really respect? I don't know. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't cognitive during that time.
Probably Pat.
Somebody else got to answer that question.
Other than Phil and Pat, probably nobody.
Yeah, that's why I said somebody
or even Pop, maybe.
I really don't know because I didn't they he won. I think he won with a different coach before. You know what I'm saying, before Phil. So I'm not I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said I wasn't cognitive at the time to do that. I mean, I was, you know what I mean, but it wasn't like I had, like I said, the luxury. So that's why I say cognitive because I wasn't aware of what was going on.
I mean, again, if he ends up selling the team, then cool. He'll probably end up putting that. He's got billions of dollars. Like the dude has
People
no
don't think like
fucking
that.
shortage of
People
money.
with money don't think like that. Like, oh, I'm cool with this. Like, nah, no one thinks like that. When you got that much money, they trying to get more and more and more. They not thinking like, oh, I'm cool with $1 billion. Nah, that's people that's in middle class think like the billionaire should be thinking like that. It's like, nah, bro. People
I'm
like
cool with $1 billion. No, I want 5.
we think with our hearts. Them motherfuckers think with their pocket. You see what I'm saying? So they not even on that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I personally don't think Jordan would be thinking like I'm cool with this. I really think he's that much of a competitor. He won't sell the team until he wins some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I seriously believe that, bro. Like they probably win once and then he's like, all right, I'm good. Sell this motherfucker because I ain't trying to go through 1,000 years or more losing. At least I got a championship. You know what I'm saying?
least I got one out of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong though.
I mean, when it comes to what Jordan does in his business ventures and everything else like that, I mean, we kind of see where he leans, and yes, like you said, he leans very much thinking with his pocket. So it is what it is. Um, but again, getting back to Jokic and the Nuggets and everything, what they did, I mean, hey, congratulations, like real shit. Congratulations to the Nuggets. First title in their franchise history, so that's big. Um, Jokic is starting to get now talked about as one of those. Do we start looking at Jokic as one of the all-time best bigs? And when you get into that conversation, you get into real fucking muddy waters because there's been a lot of really, really good big men um to play in the league, and I would definitely wouldn't put him top 5.
All right,
But
so here's why I disagree.
maybe top 10?
Here's why I disagree. You got to get away from the stats. I was watching. I got to give him credit because that's where I got it from. This works cited type of situation. I got it from Brandon Jennings, and he's on Gilbert Arenas podcast, whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna shout what he's from, but that's what it is. That's where I got this from. But Brandon Jennings said he was like, "There's some shitty big men in the league right now. He's not really playing nobody." And that makes sense because if you really think about the landscape of big men, his real competition is a crybaby in Philly, and then you got a motherfucker that don't even play the whole season in LA. Those are his competition. Who else?
Giannis?
Bruh, Giannis a garden, but real deal, like Giannis ain't. Come on, bruh. Like, is Giannis like a top defender like that?
He's won Defensive Player of the Year before. Yeah, I would say so.
We go back to who he's playing against. It's the same pool of players. Think about it. It's the same 4 guys for the last 7 years.
I mean, I agree with you in the fact that like the amount of competition that he has at that position is very, very, very low. I wouldn't go as far to say he has absolutely none, but compared to other bigs and stuff like that, the competition level at that spot just isn't as deep.
Giannis isn't as strong as Big Boy, the Serbian. He's not as strong or as skilled as him. Giannis is fast as fuck. That's it. Giannis is fast and long. Fast break, he'll kill your ass. Half court, Giannis will kill you on quick step or some shit, but 9 times out of 10, you know what I mean? But it's like is Giannis really skilled like that as a basketball player? He won that shit, but that's more the popularity and because he was, I guess, dominating. But is Giannis really skilled like that? And I don't believe so. And then you go to the other guy that's skilled, the crybaby in Philly. That motherfucker he flopped every other play, so we really don't know what he really got if he's staying tall and be strong. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, offensively, yeah, he's great, but
that's fine. Again, offensively, he's okay, he good. But honestly, like I said, they really just going off of how many points they scoring. Because if you really look at the East, it's like the best defender in the East at the bigs is Bam. And he's 6'8". Joel Embiid, 7 feet. Giannis is 7 feet. Going against a 6'8" guy. That's pretty much your best big defender. Come on, like it doesn't register to people like that because you're looking at the names of what they're doing, but it's like fuck. You know what I mean? Like who they doing it to? Oh, I'm sorry, Jared Allen, he in Cleveland. But come on. You know what I mean? Like, but it's my point. It's the same thing. You go
I was
to
gonna say, I was like, the football player? What the fuck? Where'd he come from?
No, that's Jared Allen is the big man in Cleveland. The Cavs. Right. With the headband, the afro. Anyway, if you go to the West, AD, you got DeAndre Ayton, but everybody don't on him. And then, like I said, AD, everybody, like I promise you, every person I was talking to about basketball, they're like, oh, AD, the best defender this year. Oh, they was giving him all this praise about his defense. I had to give a dramatic pause because it's like, where the fuck did that defense happen when you actually needed it?
Where did that happen in the conference championship?
Man, look.
He's just not like, and people have pointed it out too. Like Anthony Davis, he doesn't have the conditioning, and that's what a lot of what it pertains to
That motherfucker fragile.
him getting injured because he gets tired easier.
That motherfucker is fragile.
He is fragile, but it's a lot of that reason is because of the fact that he's not as conditioned as he should be.
Not going.
He's overworking himself.
Hell no, not going. Not going. The boy barely played a whole season. Half the time he don't even be hurt. Like it ain't got nothing to do about injuries. He be over there fucking lackadaisical and lazy. He don't be wanting to play. Like that's pretty much most of the time what that shit be. And it's like you won that ring, but it's like, come on, like I watched that motherfucker clearly, and I look at that shit objectively as fuck. Like AD ain't that good, bro. He capitalized on the fact that motherfuckers was worried about LeBron James. LeBron James is that much of a talent. So when you got to think about 3 people got to guard that man. Like if you don't really understand, like people don't get that shit. Like LeBron can be old and geriatric all you want to be. That motherfucker is the best. Like, come on, look at the points he made.
Just look at the stats. Just look at the stats and then look at his age.
Yeah, like
nobody can do that.
It's like I don't think any of that matters. Like, you know what I mean? On his age, to people, like they just understand that you have to pay attention to him. You know what I mean? When he's on the floor, you got to pay attention to him. You have to. And you have to do it with more than one person. So a lot of that shit kind of came down to that. It's like, Anthony Davis, you're nice. I personally don't think you're what everybody thinks you are.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think he was a good player at Kentucky, and then after he was a good player in New Orleans.
I didn't see him in Kentucky, so I'm gonna just take your word.
Oh, he was good at Kentucky. He was really good at Kentucky. That's what I was saying. Like I think that's where most of the hype came from. Because when he was at Kentucky, dude, like
I ain't see it.
Like defensively, AD was a monster on the boards, blocking everything in sight. Like the dude was good, and then he got to New Orleans, was doing real well there. But New Orleans, as we know, as an organization, is not the greatest in the world. So that went the way it did, and then he went to LA. Got the bubble championship, and after that became a fucking crash dummy and absolute fragile human being. Poorly conditioned, fragile human being. That's what AD became when he went to LA.
No, AD has never played a full season his entire career. That includes
then
he's been that way his entire career. That's what I've been saying. The man been in the league 10 years. He been in the league 10 years. When we was talking about the him and versus DeMontis, I literally looked that up. That was the part I was looking at the most. I was like, this man's never played a full fucking season.
No.
Never. He's always hurt. At some point in time, he's gonna get hurt. So that's the part. Like, you are not dependable at all, my boy. Like,
AD getting hurt in the regular season is the same statistical probability as Chris Paul getting hurt in the postseason. It's guaranteed it's going to happen.
Nah, that's not the same. I wouldn't say that.
There are 2 guarantees. One are just different parts of the season. One's during the season, one's postseason.
That's the part where I'll get off the train.
When is the last time Chris Paul has ever finished a postseason?
A couple years ago when they lost to the goddamn they lost to Giannis. They went to the finals. People keep forgetting.
I don't know. I think we've had this conversation
with dribbling ball. He finished the season that year.
He finished that season. That one season.
Man, look, now it's that one season. At first, it was he's never finished. Now it's that one season. Like, come on, the man made it to the finals. Like everything that everybody criticized him for, he did that season. And now they're still criticizing him for it. Like, come on, man, break. Like the man had a lot of. He's the
Dan Marino point guard.
If you're gonna sit here and slander New Orleans, he got drafted to New Orleans, had an opportunity to go to the Lakers with Kobe. They vetoed that shit, and then he ended up going to the Clippers. The Clippers, like, think about it. The Clippers were shit. Like, he went to one.
Can you imagine if he would have actually went to the LA Lakers with Kobe?
Yeah, they would have won. They would have won championships. They probably won like 1 or 2.
You think Kobe might have passed Jordan?
As far as what?
Championships.
Ring? Yeah, that if you would have won 2.
Because Kobe had 5.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you'd have won 2, then yeah, he would have passed him. Because if I'm not mistaken, that was the year they won.
No, because I remember when that
That
whole
trade.
thing went down, how everyone was like, "Oh, if Chris Paul went to the fucking Lakers, that would be so unfair." Like
Yeah,
it was like
that was the year they
it
won.
was so unfair that the league agreed that it was so unfair. Like it would be detrimental to the league because nobody would want to watch because it would be so unfair. That's how good Chris Paul was at that point. Hey, Chris Paul, man, I we make I or we I make fun of him a lot, for like again, he's the Dan Marino of point guards. But you can't deny like one, he is probably the last true point guard. Um, but he definitely was, I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer. Um, he's gonna be remembered as probably a top 5 point guard of all time, maybe even top 3 in some people's minds. Uh, he's a great player. He garnered that reputation of not being able to, other than obviously that 1 year, every year after that, there was always something that hindered him from it because it almost seemed like there was a 5-year span where every single year people were saying, "This is Chris Paul's best opportunity. This is Chris Paul's best opportunity." Like they kept saying that, and yet they never. I mean, yeah, they got to the finals, and yeah, that was probably the best opportunity that they had, but ended up like something happened. Like he may not have gotten injured, but something had happened that hindered Chris Paul from getting a championship.
Well, that year, Giannis was just playing really well. So Giannis,
Giannis
Middleton, everybody.
destroyed them.
I want to say all that, but I'm saying like
A
he played well.
50-point game, and they go, "Oh,
It was
whatever."
everybody. Giannis played well. He had all them stats and shit, but it was everybody. They whole team whooped that.
Middleton was a big part of that too.
Drew Holiday
Um,
as well. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like Drew Holiday had a big part to do with that. It,
yeah.
it was their whole team.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball, for
Well,
sure.
PJ Tucker, they all had a part to play in that. So
Yeah,
I'll just say that. Like that's pretty much what that is. Everything else, Chris Paul was always a pivotal point of the team's success. So a lot of shit was on him. So it's like
yeah,
they never had a complete team. It was just always Chris Paul, one other guy, and they might have a couple of role players, but most of the fucking leaning is gonna be on Chris Paul because he's a flow general, and he just got another guy that's just like an assassin type of situation. Like they just do their
yeah.
thing, like Blake Griffin and James Harden. You know what I mean? And then when he went to OKC, he finished that year. Actually, now that I think about it, they him and Shot Alexander. They Shaggy Alexander. They went to the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. They went to the play-in of the first round or some shit like that, and they lost with the Thunder. If I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much where they was at.
I thought
That's
Alexander came after.
No, it was him and Chris Paul at the same time. It was together, and they let Chris Paul go because he was there.
Hmm,
He was developing because Chris Paul helped him develop. He
got
definitely
it.
was there. But he probably was like a rookie or a second year, but he was there. If I'm not mistaken, he was a second year because he was there with Russell too. Because Russell was last year in OKC. I think they drafted Shot.
Okay.
Chris Paul came like when they did that trade for Chris Paul to for Russell for Houston
Yeah.
OKC. And that's how they had him right there. And then Chris Paul pretty much taught him how to be a guard, a point guard for real. And then he was able to, send Chris Paul on his way.
Mm,
That's kind of how that went. But yeah, Chris Paul, like I said, most of the times when he go to playoffs, it'd be like leaned on him. Like when he was in Houston with James Harden. Everybody know James Harden got the yips in the playoffs. Everybody know that shit. So it's like it was leaned on him. When he got hurt, everybody completely gave up on the Rockets because they knew they had to lean on Chris Paul. Same thing with the Clippers. If he get hurt, who's throwing the fucking passes to Blake Griffin in the air? Exactly. Exactly. DeAndre
Nobody knows.
But so now if you look all the way back into New Orleans, Chris Paul was a linchpin to every team's success. So when you got that, and then you got to basically carry them there, and you're not built like LeBron, you know what I'm saying? They got you doing, then you really don't have no backup that's able to do what you're doing. So sometimes he probably got to come in early. You know what I mean? Like instead of resting his whole time on the bench, he probably got to come in early. So it's like all of that plays a part.
Yeah.
That plays a part in that shit. That's kind of why I give him a damn, like I'm looking at your teams like, yeah, bro, like you needed help too. You know what I'm saying? And you kept getting hurt because you kept trying to overwork yourself. So that's why that's an overworked situation. As far as Anthony Davis, absolutely the fuck not.
For Jokic, real quick, I find it funny because he's stated, plenty of times, like, basketball is not a main part of his life, quote, he's just something he's good at and everything. I saw him when he was doing the press conference when he found out the parade was on Thursday. So he had to wait another day before he could go home. He just wanted to go home. He did that interview. It's like, it's over, the job's done, I get to go home now. Like he's a very humble dude. Again, that he doesn't necessarily look for the spotlight or anything else like that, but he's just, I find it a very interesting character, a very unorthodox character to what normal, you know, like the talking heads and stuff like that would make you to believe when it comes to like the intangibles. Because literally, there's no reason when you look at intangibles, when you just look at Jokic, there's no reason you would think you would be this good. But he is. Um, so it's just, again, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Murray, especially, finding himself this year. Um, and to the Denver Nuggets for winning a championship. Before we get on to the next thing, here is a ad for our friends over at Rays.
What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All Pro Jaffos, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Rays Energy. Rays Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Rays Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced refresh technology, Rays Energy delivers with a performance enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Rays has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan voted energy drink on the planet with Rays Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAYS at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Rays Rebellion. Let them know the JAFFOs sent you.
Appreciate Rays Energy for being with us since day one. Now getting into A7FL playoffs. Round 2 happened this last weekend. And it was 2 games really good. The other games, blowouts. Like it was so the Florida Nightcrawlers, or the Tampa Bay took on the Orlando Orange or the O Town Orange, and just how do we put this into ass whooping is way too polite. Um, we saw the premiere of Dominic Rogers Cromartie wearing the 45, the same number and everything that he was playing with, and it was just. And to be honest, he wasn't even the star of the show. It was the linebacker for the Nightcrawlers that was actually absolutely making the Orange life hell. 84-6 um, was the result of the Florida Championship. Now the Nightcrawlers await the winner of the Northeast Championship, which now consists of two teams, starting off with one, the Baltimore Watchmen, who got a 27-19 victory over the Silk City Animals. And then probably the most exciting game of the year, and it never disappoints. Okay, every time you and I watch these two teams battle it out against each other, it's always, of epic proportions. The Trenton BIC, the Patterson U, taking each other on in a slugfest that came to the absolute wire.
Excuse me. Shit, I muted too early.
And Patterson U ends up taking down the defending champion BIC 28-26. And the ending of that game was so wild because it was almost a multiverse flip from last year's championship game. If people were watching and remembers last year's championship game, it was literally by inches, by absolute inches, that Patterson U was not able to get into the end zone to score to win the championship. Now the same thing, inches that the ball had crossed in to give Patterson U the win. I mean, it was a wild thing because they didn't know for a long time. When the play happened, the refs had called. It took them a while. They were looking through the pile. They were looking through, there right at the goal line. They eventually called it a touchdown. From that point, it took maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes,
Yeah, that's about accurate.
about 15, 20 minutes to actually review, because they only had really one camera angle to be able to see exactly
No,
what had happened.
they had a couple because the screen kept showing the editor screen. It kept showing all of the camera windows. It
Yeah.
didn't have a down the line camera, the one everybody wanted, but it definitely had angles. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't have the angles we wanted. I'll say that to give them credit.
And it made me ask, like, is having a white football become problematic in those situations?
Kind of. It's tough though. It's just like personally, I think they should have like we were talking about before, some kind of stripe situation on it. But it
Mhm.
probably look more like a rugby football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, I don't know. Yeah, to answer your question, short answer, yes.
But I mean, they got in there, and then again, because Matt and Corey and Big Rob, they were in the booth. They had no idea what the hell was going on. They were like, we don't know either, because people were going in asking them, what do they see? I think one of the referees even came in and say, hey, do you guys have a different angle? Or like, it was absolute pandemonium. It was chaos. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. People that were out on the field had already, like, people were packing up and leaving. They had packed up the field already. They had gone on, they were picking up the numbers and all that other kind of stuff. They had thought everything was over. That's how long it took for them to figure out what actually happened. So then what ended up happening was they scored the touchdown. They went up by 1. And the ref said there were 2 seconds left. So they had to bring everybody back, for 1, the extra point, and then the BIC had 2 opportunities to pull out a win. One on the 3-on-1, which is an untimed down. And then after that, if they didn't score on the 3-on-1, they would have an opportunity to score on a regular play. So again, everybody had to come back and get in the mindset, of what was to be and everything. And Ashanti Worthy almost took the 3-on back. He was he was this close to taking it back.
Yeah, he definitely was fighting.
Like he if he would have just got past that last defender that ended up getting him out of bounds. Oh man, the booth would have lost their mind. Matt, Big Rob, Corey, they would have probably broke some shit, in that booth. It would have been absolutely wild. But then, the play that it ended up setting up, the last play of the game, Ashanti Worthy again almost broke a defender to get out and score. And it just wasn't to be. The Patterson U take down the BIC. Last year the BIC took them down 3 times in 1 year. This time the Patterson U return the favor and take down the BIC twice in 1 year. So now they move on to take on the Watchmen, who beat the Patterson U, was the only one to beat the Patterson U this year, going into the Northeast Championship. The Ohio Championship, super fucking exciting.
Hold on, before we
This
move to Ohio. Hey, I'm in the flag football group on the USA flag football group on
right,
Facebook. All that shit. They had to be the Baltimore Watchman on there. I forgot the guy's name. They had him on there, like on their picture. They posted the picture and it was like, it was supposed to be making, like a little meme situation, like, oh, caption next picture. That's what they put. But it was definitely Baltimore versus Silk City. So I'm like, that was this past weekend. I'm like, they used one of the A7FL pictures and didn't credit them. But I definitely went on there and I was like, I don't have a good caption, but I definitely want to shout out the BMO Watchman from advancing. You know what I mean? Because I was gonna shout out whoever advanced in this shit. That was my, because I wanted to give them their credit.
yeah. Well, they do have flag players and stuff like that on that team, so that's probably,
Shit. That's even more of a reason why they should give them credit.
you know. So I mean, yeah, it was just. So now you have the Patterson U versus the Baltimore Watchmen in the Northeast Championship. So the winner of that game between the Patterson U and the Watchmen take on the Nightcrawlers the next week. Um, and then again, we get to the Ohio Championship. That was a really good game because, again, the Chaos had been dominating the entire year. Um, but the only team that they had trouble with and stuff like that was the Heist. And, the Heist is the only team that took them, into the fourth quarter because the Chaos were dominating so much they didn't even go into the fourth quarter. And this game was pretty much 12-12 all the way to the end. They go into overtime, and the Heist, I think it was Marshall at quarterback at the time, number 1, rolled left, tried to get across his body to throw. It looked like he got tipped, but then the more I watched it, the more I realized it was just an ugly throw. It just off balance, just nasty. The ball went straight fucking down. Well, not straight down. It went straight into the defender's hands and scored for, a walk-off touchdown in overtime. Big win for the Chaos. So now they await the winner of the Nevada division. And that will consist of the Insomniacs, who just destroyed the OTT 82-6. Trey Robinson and company are kind of trying to live up to those words that he spiced up on the podcast a couple of days ago last week.
They definitely lived up to it. He said two things for certain: we scoring over 70, and we definitely not playing in the fourth. Both things happened.
So 82-6, the Insomniacs over the OC, and they will take on the Las Vegas Sick with it, who beat the Aces 58-13. But unfortunately for the Sick with it, our guy, or my guy, on the show, he was with us on Thursday. Lavish T fractured his foot on one of the 3-on-1 plays, and gonna be requiring surgery. I talked to him the other day. I asked him, hey, how's everything going? What is okay? Because I saw that he got hurt. I just didn't know the extent of what happened. He got back to me. He said, yeah, he fractured his foot and he's gonna need surgery. So he is done for the postseason, for the Sick with it, unfortunately. So that whole team right now is playing, and they have it up on their socials and everything else like that. They're going to be playing for Lavish, against the Insomniacs, and the winner of that game, between the Insomniacs and the Sick with it, will have to travel to Ohio, to Cincinnati, to take on the champs in the Chaos. And then that week will be, obviously a big week in championship weekends, and then leading up to the championship July 23rd, that weekend, in Bullhead, Arizona, for the national championship. If you're still wanting to get tickets and stuff like that, you guys missed the 25% off window. The tickets are on sale still now for 20% off. Go to a7fl.com/championship and use the promo code A7FL early. It's A7FLEARLY to get 20% off of your tickets. Again, they got the weekend tickets, they got day tickets, individuals, all that other kind of stuff. Go check it out. It's not a weekend you're going to want to miss. It's going to be a historical weekend for the league. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be there. The guys from 3-on-1 are going to be there. Other side of the ball is going to be there. Everybody is going to be there for the A7FL championship, and you're not going to want to miss it. So get down there and enjoy the festivities. We will be taking part in the combine, that'll be going on down there. I believe that's a Saturday afternoon, for the combine. I saw that they had esports tournaments, and a part of me wants to do it. They said they got NFL Street Tournament. Okay. Like, I don't know how you were on NFL Street, but oh my goodness. I think we might need to get into a couple of competitions this weekend, or that weekend, to be honest with you. Not just the combine, but a few more things.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a couple NFL guys gonna be there too. To be honest with you, like old NFL players, maybe a couple coaches and scouts, especially because you had a guy like Mike Tomlin. He thinks out the box, and him and fucking Big Ben was talking about that shit.
Yeah.
So, like, they might have a couple NFL guys out there looking at some talent. So you never know. So
You never know.
as far as the e-gaming though, yeah, why not? Shit, I didn't really look at the whole lineup of all the games they're gonna play, but two games is for sure gonna be there. If they do an NFL Street, Madden gonna be there. So
Yep. And I also heard 2K was also going to be there.
all right, so now we speaking in problems. We got territorial problems now. So now I got a very busy weekend. I just gonna say very busy weekend because two things got to happen. First, I got to find NFL Street again, 1 and 2. I got to play them motherfuckers again. Yeah, that's
Well,
first. Because I seen a live stream since we watching this. The A7FL, I seen somebody live stream and they put it on their on YouTube or whatever. Somebody playing NFL Street. That shit was like just a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go find that some bitch and you know what I mean? Play it again, get myself together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna go out here and embarrass myself. That give me, you know what I'm saying, the same amount of time it's taking me working out right now. You know what I mean?
You don't want to get blown the fuck out. That's
Well, no, I ain't talking about blowing out. I ain't losing. So if I'm getting my shit together, I ain't losing. I ain't going out like that. We're not going out like that. We got to play to win. That's what we plan to win. I'm not even going to put my mindset of losing.
How good are you in 2K?
I mean, again, I got to refresh everything. I haven't been playing games and like how I was before. Like, yeah, no, I ain't played my game consistently in a few years. So I'm not even, like I'll play like last time I played my game probably was a month ago. And I was just like one game, and then I turned that some bitch off and did like 15 other fucking things. Like, yeah, so yeah, I haven't played this fucker in a long time. So
I think it's gonna be fun, regardless of like whether. I don't even know if I want to play the Madden one because I have not been a fan of Madden these last few years.
I mean, Madden sucked the whole time. It's just shit. It's football.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if they have like old NCAA football. I'd be down with that.
Well, they might because I mean the game
I'd
about
be
to come out.
destructive in that game with that. Ooh, ooh.
You never.
We'll see what the lineup and is for the games and stuff that they have, but it'd be cool to kind of participate in the festivities. It would give us a lot of content. I'll tell you that. Especially if we ended up winning. You know, one of the things that'd be cool. So yes, everybody, get down. You're gonna want to be there, Bullhead City, Arizona. It's just about an hour and 45 minutes outside of Vegas. If you go on the website, they actually have a lot of the accommodation stuff. So the hotels and everything that are nearby. If you guys are looking into that, just go to a7fl.com. You'll be able to find everything that you need to know about the A7FL National Championship schedule for that weekend. So this one's tough, and I talked to Big Rob, and I wanted to see what his take on this whole thing was. But we'll be able to talk to him tomorrow if you're free. Um, Tomorrow at 6 p.m. our time, 9 o'clock his time. He'll be able to hop on and talk to us for a little bit about what's been going on and what he's been hearing, what he's been seeing. Wouldn't it be wild if the Nightcrawlers made it all the way and then you see Rogers Cromartie at the national championship?
Well, I mean,
It'd be crazy.
if they didn't make it out, I don't see why he wouldn't come. For him to join the league like this, there ain't nothing for him to try to fly the fucking, check out the game or whatever the fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Like you would hope that everybody, regardless if they made it or not, would show up to support the league.
Yeah, you hope,
But
but
then I mean, we know the competitive nature and the pettiness of certain athletes. So that might not be a thing for some people.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Since I've been playing semi-pro, I've went to 0 championships. So I've been in a situation.
Well, I feel like the situation is a little different.
I've been bitter since 2014, bro. We got cheated. My man was in the end zone, like all the way in the end zone.
He said I've been bitter since 2014.
I'm like, gonna lie to you. My man was all the way in the end zone. Spring 2014. This is exactly when this shit happened. We was literally a catch away. I keep talking about this shit all the time because that shit hurt. And I'm in an opportunity right now, though. This weekend, opportunity right now to make it to the championship again. That same game I was hurt in, I'm in the same position right now. A game away from the championship. So
Rio Linda High School this weekend.
yep, 6:00.
I get paid Friday. Got good enrollments and stuff like that today, so I'm there.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Got another enrollment tomorrow, so we'll see what more comes out of that because we need to. So we're gonna split the Airbnb, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't selected which one we're doing.
Okay.
But,
No, I just wanted, and then I
no.
don't think we'll need to spend too much on gas, right?
I mean, this is not the conversation right now.
I don't see why not. We can talk about it now. We can talk about it later to
Let's
figure it out.
not on the show
Why not?
because I just don't want to talk about it. Like, that's probably the easiest way to go about it. Like, without disrespecting nobody of the fan variety, you know what I mean? Like, well, what you psychos know what the fuck we gonna be at? I want to say that.
I don't have to give the exact location. I'm just.
But no, fucking but yeah, no, but back to the chip though, like I think that whoever plays in the chip, no matter if it's Camardi, Patterson, or whoever, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna be dope no matter what, unless the team that wins is like the Denver Nuggets lame ass. That's the only way I think this shit is gonna be terrible if we get a lame ass team like the Denver Nuggets to win this bitch.
There's no lame teams left though. All these teams are.
I know I was just shooting at the Denver Nuggets. I'm still bitter, dude. Do you not understand that? That shit just happened 2 days ago. Man.
No, I understand. That's why I was trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out other things to brighten your day other than what has just happened to you.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
Because I know a gentleman's sweep is not how you wanted to go out.
I mean, I didn't want Jimmy to have 8 points until the last 5 minutes of the fucking game in our closeout game. So there's a lot of shit I would not preferred, to be honest with you. That's a lot of shit I preferred.
So from what you've seen, because I mean we've been paying pretty close attention to the playoffs and all the teams and everything else like that. From what you've seen, what do you think the championship is going to consist of? Who's going to be in the ship?
Oh, the teams?
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is tough, right?
Well, I can tell you one thing: Ohio not gonna be in it. Like,
You don't think so?
Yeah, no disrespect, but them yeah, no, fuck that. They play either one of them teams, sick with it or the insomniacs. Them boys gonna blow their ass out. So that shit over with. Y'all boys, 1, 2, 3 on fucking Saturday.
And the dudes in Ohio, dudes in Ohio have been vocal. They have been very vocal.
I feel you. People in Ohio crazy as fuck. Think about it. They can't say family. Man, I said this on the show for years now. LeBron can't say family. Family. LeBron, y'all, go listen to LeBron say family, especially when he opened that school. He said family like 30 times. I was almost died. Almost hyperventilated laughing at LeBron. Like, holy fuck. Every time. Family, family, family. And every one of them Bone Thugs songs sounded terrible. Everyone, not as far as sonically, it made Cleveland, Ohio sound terrible. It made me not want to go to Cleveland, bro. Ever. Never. Then it don't make it any better that Joakim Noah said, what is there to do in Cleveland? I mean, I don't put much credence into Joakim Noah, but hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, huh? I guess. So, yo, fuck that shit, man. Like, ain't no disrespect to the team, but look, y'all should be better based on your environment.
He said people in Ohio can't say the word family, and he
Yeah, you fucked it up right now too, coach. I ain't gonna lie to you.
well, because he kept hearing you, family, family, family.
You gotta listen to LeBron say that shit, bro. I promise you, that shit gonna make you cry tears.
I
Just
already am.
you can literally just put that shit on. If your wife not in the room right now, she don't hear this. Just put it on when she there. You go randomly start laughing. She gonna be like, "What? What's funny?" Do you gonna have to explain it? You're gonna be on the floor with tears because you know that you heard it repetitively today, and then you just gonna die laughing. Just I'll tell you, bro. LeBron can't say
Family,
for shit.
family,
He can't say family. He can't say the word. I'll give you a couple so you could re-register in your mind.
family, family,
Yeah,
family.
it's terrible for him. But that's the
My
one
family.
thing I'll tell you. Everything Bone Thug said on every one of their songs. When Busy did his solo, all of them boys, they came back. You know what I'm saying? Thugs and Harmony, all that shit, all them albums. The one they came back in 2008, that's what I meant. Like all that shit, they made Cleveland sound terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. And look, that's the biggest city, right? That and Columbus. Both of them sound fucking terrible. Look at little Bow Wow. He was like, shit, no, I'm going to Atlanta. Shit, no, I'm going to Atlanta.
What about Cincinnati?
Man, look. If Joe Burrow wasn't there, the only thing you really got to register fucking Cincinnati is Kenyon Martin. I'm be honest with you. And look, Kenyon Martin was a dog on a basketball court, but he'll beat anybody to fuck up. So it seems like all they want to do is fight up there in Cincinnati. So, and then you got Adrian Broner talking about, and I don't even know who Eminem is. He from Cincinnati. So you got to remember, you got like a couple. You got AB or you got Kenyon Martin. I'll lean more towards Kmart side, but goodness fucking gracious, that's a barometer right there, boy. Hey, look. The only thing you got is them two white boys from Cleveland Heights. That's all you got right now. Like, that's it, Ohio. You need to just hang both of your hats on them two boys. That's it. And they don't play for y'all, but they just from there, and they went to the university out there. So that's all you really got. There you go. One of them got black mannerisms, and the other got white. That shit's hilarious, though. Hey, shit's hilarious. They grew up in the same fucking house. That's the shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's definitely an example of, you can grow up in the same house but raise two totally different children.
Totally. They completely fucking different. They have moments where you know what I mean? They're the same person, but totally different fucking people.
Yeah. Yeah. Travis is definitely like,
Thank
you
you.
can tell he's part of the younger generation, where Jason is more like old school-ish tendencies type of guy.
Like a year or two apart though. That shit's crazy. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm
less
saying.
than
They're
5 years
not
apart.
that
I don't know
far
the exact
apart.
number. They're less than 5 years apart. So it ain't like, you know what I mean? They went to high school together and college. They were
Yeah.
So it's not like they was far apart. And if everybody's not figuring out who we talking about, Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, the center for the Philadelphia Eagles and the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're not familiar, pretty sure you guys are. It's a football fucking show.
I was gonna say, if you're watching this, you should be familiar with them.
I wouldn't say that because we might got first time viewers in other countries, like you said. First, yeah. So like, look, you got sit down and listen to this real quick. I don't know what accent I was reaching for, but it was one of them motherfuckers. It was one of them motherfuckers, you hear me? So that's what I'm saying. So, oh shit. You got those opportunities, to get new fans,
I don't even know where to.
I mean, shit, you can talk about who you believe. Oh, I didn't finish my pick actually, because I was talking shit about Cleveland.
Mhm.
I mean Ohio as a whole. Oh yeah, I forgot about AJ Hawk too. Yeah, but yeah. Um, Dave Chappelle makes Ohio sound terrible too. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. He makes it sound terrible, then he also makes it sound good. Like it's good people there, but majority of the motherfuckers, yeah. So no, to my pick though, I'll say honestly because they lost Lavish, I picked the Insomniacs. That's the only reason because they lost Lavish. So and then they play around without him. I mean, it's decent, but based on how what everyone's saying and what we've seen already, Insomniac's pretty high powered. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They're pretty high powered. So I mean, I'm gonna just go with that. You lost one of your main weapons. You know what I mean?
So you got the Insomniacs and
Stick with it. Oh no, because
now you got to pick from the East. You pick from the West. Now
I
who's
know,
coming out of the East?
I know. I was thinking about it right now. I don't know, man. That's tough because I didn't really watch much of that game. Tampa.
Oh, they yeah. There was not much. There wasn't much to watch.
No, I'm saying as far as like, because I mean, when I watch that shit, I look at it like game film, like different. I don't know the way I see shit.
They were
place,
dominant as fuck, and they'll be
I
able
can
to
place
compete with
different people. Like
either.
I can place myself or competition in place of that person. Like how would this person move against this person's footwork and things?
From what I've seen, they will definitely be able to compete with either the U or the Watchmen.
I mean, again, I guess, but like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna just say to be announced for the East, bro. I can't. I don't want to try to sound like a homer and then just be like, you know what I mean? Because I'm well aware of what Patterson's up there with because I watched that game, so it's not like I wasn't aware. You know what I mean? Even though I watched that game though,
Yeah.
so I'm well aware of what Patterson got. Been seeing him all season, so I'm not gonna try to disrespect him and just be like, oh, I'm gonna pick them because they got Dominique. It's like, nah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know, bro. That's terrible. I'm gonna just
That's a tough one, huh?
forfeit my time. I'm gonna forfeit my time.
If I had to make a pick, like, I mean, yeah, they don't have Lavish, but they're still a really good team. Um, and I think with that whole point of playing for Lavish could help.
So they gonna do it for Lil Saint.
Hey, sometimes whatever your motivation is, bro. Whatever your
Lil Saint.
motivation is, if you gotta throw it down for Lil Saint, then you gotta throw it down for Lil Saint. That's just what you gotta do.
Now, boom.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yep.
Fucking.
Yep.
Hey, the Oos with the Mickey Mouse ears is hilarious though. I'm sick with it. He's hilarious, not just because of the ears. He like if you see him on the field, he's hilarious, bro. But no, go ahead.
So for them, and they do have a good defense and stuff like that too. And when they did play against the Insomniacs earlier this year, yeah, they lost, but it was a competitive game. Much more competitive than the Insomniacs had been playing all year against anybody else. Um, so but then I watched the chaos and a part of me thinks that they have a good team, but then a lot of what I saw, it was basically the QB, Thomas. Like, it was either him or it was nothing. And it most of the games that they've played, that's really what it comes down to. It's just he'll sit back and sit back and sit back because, again, like we've seen on the Olentangy Volcanoes and number fucking 65 and, other teams and stuff like that there, they haven't been competitive. So he can just sit back, everyone clears out, and then he just runs the ball and scores. That's just, kind of what ends up happening. They weren't able to do that against the Heist, and it kind of showed. If you take away one of the main weapons that they have, they're kind of the same as everybody else. So, I kind of look at the chaos and I go, no, they have a good shot, but I don't think they're good enough to be either the Sick With It or the Insomniacs. So if I had to pick between the Insomniacs and Sick With It to make it to the championship game, with all that being said, it is just tough. I don't think that it'll be a 3-quarter game like Trey said. Like I don't think it'll be like that, but um I definitely think the Insomniacs are going to be representing the West in the championship. Now for the Northeast, where I run into the wall is Patterson U beat the BIC, but the Watchmen beat Patterson U, right? But the BIC beat the Watchmen, after the Watchmen had beaten the U. So they're still, and I think the U will be running on that high of, this is their year to win another championship. They just took down to the defending champs. Um, but the Watchmen play them really, really well. But with the U, I think, especially with the playoff moments and stuff right now, I kind of like the U's chances of making it to the national championship. So if I had to pick right now from what I've seen, it'll be the U versus the Insomniacs in the national championship game. So that's how I see it. It may not be that. It could be something different, but
No, everything you said is literally what I said literally twice. Everything I was racking my brain around over here. Like all of those, like BIC losing to this team and that team beating this team and this team losing that team. You know what I mean? And I was just like, fuck, I haven't seen enough of Tampa. And that's the only thing that kept going across my mind. That's the only reason why I could not make my pick. Everything you just said right now. All right, there you go. Come on. Hands above your head. Hands above your head. Come on. Breathe. Breathe, goddammit.
right. Oh shit. But yeah, man, it's gonna be, the postseason is still looking really good. I think Matt, Corey, and Big Rob are entertaining as fuck to listen to during the podcast. As much as Matt gives himself shit for whatever problems that do go on, they do a really good job. So shout out to them. Uh, sorry.
I am a doctor.
But I did have to point something out that happened. And if you haven't seen it, you can go to any of our social medias. It's all there. Apparently, at the end of the Sick With It Aces game, there was a 40-yard dash run.
Oh yeah.
Between the referee, I forgot who the two other guys were. One of them was a coach, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Insomniac's coach.
Was it the Insomniacs coach?
I think so. Oh, actually, it might have been the Aces because the Aces. What's the Aces called?
I remember I saw the dude in red, so he might have been. Yeah, it might have been the guy in Aces.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like,
and then the other side of the ball's very own Casey Cox, who just previously, apparently according to Country K, saying the words that talking some of that mess, saying all the smoke from the Northeast is fake smoke. Then decided to take part in a 40-yard dash contest and got about 15 yards
Bust his ass.
before I just busted out. He busted his face. He so
Then he got up and bust his ass.
he looked like he was trying to start the process of doing the worm, but then just hit and dribbled his face off of the turf. Got back up and tried to run it off like nothing happened. But he wasn't the only one who fell. Another dude on the other side who was all in all white, he fell too, but he got up and then fell again before making it into the end zone.
Yep.
But I just remember getting the text message from Sir Matt Ryan in bold caps, quote unquote. He fell. I can feel the joy and laughter from that bold text. And I said, what the hell happened? Because I didn't see what happened. Took a screenshot of that and sent it to Kay. And then I was like, well, what the hell? So I went back to the A7FL YouTube page and it was still going live. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe I can catch it. I rewinded it a little bit. And lo and behold, this beautiful piece of gold content came across the screen. And it was getting to bedtime too. So I saw it when I was getting ready to go to sleep. And I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "Oh no, oh God!" Because you knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely knew it was going to happen. You just didn't know when. And how it happened was just pure gold.
Yeah, got a statement, then a question. All right, statement. God don't like ugly. First. Question. Do you feel like you're worse than that?
No,
All right. Have you been
no.
working out at all?
I saw that and said, even at this point where I'm at, I would not fall. I would not. No.
All right, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, the turf monster is not no motherfucking favorite. He doesn't.
I understand that, but I have more
He is
balance than
sniper
that. I know
patrol.
that.
They roam.
It just he wasn't even wearing cleats. That's the funny part. You could just but no, yes. As of now, like I know that I do better than that. I know I do better than that.
All right, because I think it's unbeknownst to them that we're gonna be a part of that whole race. I want that ref there because that ref, before that ref need credit. That boy got off on their ass. That boy went. He left their ass. He said, Martin said go before they got to 10. My boy was in the end zone taking his shoes off. Yo, the ref got off, boy. He said go. Yo, I said, damn. Oh. Ass and elbows is all they saw. I'm almost certain. That's why probably how KC fell. He
got mesmerized.
He saw the ref in the end zone. He's like, what the fuck? It bust his ass, bro. Yo. The ref has to be, that was the back judge too. He has to be fast enough for the fastest receiver at least, or somewhat to be able to see it. They got the right guy in Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like it would be some good content. You being 6'10", just smoking everybody in a foot race.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna happen. That gonna happen. I'm be fresh out of the season. I'm be fresh out of season, still working out, bro. Like, this not gonna be good for people's self-esteem. I promise you. I tell people that all the time. Like, this is not going to be good for your self-esteem. You know what I mean? And, hey, look, please take my word for it because I'm a doctor. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to be good for your self-esteem. You go see me and going to be like, hell no. The next thing you know, ass and elbows is all you saw.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun weekend. I cannot wait for that to come. Again, we appreciate everybody for hanging out with us on this Wednesday, giving up a little bit of time. I'm trying to get this fucking volume situation. There we go. Again, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, talking A7FL NBA Finals. We will see you guys again, hopefully tomorrow, talking with Big Rob, and then again come Friday for more predictions and more talk about the A7FL and more things coming up in the sports world. NFL going to be starting up again real soon, so you know the talk for that's about to jump off. And again, we appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you again soon. And until then, for myself, JP, for the 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K, we'll see you guys next time.
Let's go, Big Bang!